Alright, you guys, same YouTube channel as always. You already know, JPTV 3000. We're gonna continue where we left off. We talked about frack fueling. I think I went into enough detail about that, gave you the companies, who's hiring, who to apply for, the positions, and what they're looking for. Transloader is also another one on that fuel side, but I need to get into some comments and stuff before I get too far and I forget what I was last talking about. You recommended Robinson oil for experienced fuel hauler but no oil field experience. Robinson oil, if you got driving experience, that's the main thing, because they can train you to do the fuel. Hauling fuel's simple. Just make sure you put in the right thing. If it says gallons, make sure you put in the right gallons to the compartment. I'm still talking about fuel again. Anyway, when it comes to fuel and loading from the terminal to your truck, make sure you put in the right gallons for the compartment in your trailer that they're going into. Please make sure you understand that. Please make sure you understand that. You put in 2,000 gallons and you got a 2,000 gallon compartment. Nope, you don't want to do that. In wintertime, it's so-so, but really, you really don't want to do that at all. You want to leave some space for that liquid to expand. If you know anything about hauling diesel, you'll pick up in the morning. You'll go get loaded. You say to yourself, or you may not be experienced, and I'm pretty sure wherever you go, they'll talk to you about it. You'll hear about it. You got a 2,000 gallon compartment and you want to load it. You don't put 2,000 gallons in it. You put 1950. That way you're giving yourself some space for that liquid to expand, which is exactly what diesel is going to do. And if some tanks are different. Some tanks have a cylinder in them at the top where you can see where it should stop at. Now, depending on how hot it is, it'll tell you to stop there. And are you on level ground? It'll tell you to stop there, like at this little metal round thing that'll be sitting at the top. Some of them don't have it. It'll tell you, make sure you don't fill above this point. Something like I said, some of them don't have that. So you're gonna need to know where to stop at when you're filling fuel. The same thing with any other kind of liquid that can expand. You need to know where you need to stop at. That is very, very, very important that you know that. Don't forget it. I'm saying it. You're gonna hear it again when you go through whatever company process that you're going through when it comes to hiring and safety. I want to make sure that I emphasize that. No spills on location. If not all, most of the bulk fuelers and diesel transport trailers are going to have a spill containment area at the top. It'll be like a little, almost like a little upside down elongated U. So it'll be like this, then it'll be flat down here at the bottom. That's so if there's a spill or an overflow, fluid expanding, it stays in there. Now it'll have like a pipeline going down to the bottom. That may or may not have a valve that you can open or close. So if it does overfill and the fluid expands out, if it doesn't have a valve on it, that fluid is going to spill out onto the ground, and there's nothing you can do about it except maybe try to plug it up with something. But as soon as you're going to move that tanker, that stuff's going all over the top of it. If it does have a valve, that may kind of save you some, but same thing when there's a leave here in a minute. Same thing when I totally forgot what I was talking about. When it comes to just make sure you be safe. Make sure you work within the safety guidelines of the company that you work for. We've talked about fuel. Now we're going to talk about hey, what's up? What they doing? But yeah, it's somebody walking across. It was a woman walking across, and she was going through the garbage and stuff. But anyway, totally forgot my train of thought. Next, we're gonna talk about frack opportunities in the fracking stimulation. You got a lot of companies in frack. You got Halliburton, I think Keen or BJ, I don't know which one bought which, or if they're both still separate companies. ProPetro, ProFrack, and CalFrack, and I don't know how many others. But I'm leaving from over here. So give me a minute, we're gonna come back to this. Anyway, where we were just adding what we were just talking about. Give me a second to get back to it, which I totally forgot. But anyway, because West Coast Roller was the one that asked me about Robinson Oil. I think in that first video y'all should have seen that I addressed the stuff related to fuel. What are the best certifications to get for the oil field when it comes to certifications? To be honest, if you go work for a name brand or a major company, they're gonna put you through their own safety, their own H2S, their own everything, because they want everything to be current for your first beginning, so you're first starting out there. I've also come to find out going through orientation now that SafeLand it's permanent. It's not only that, you don't have to carry the cards anymore. All of it's online, so that's a great aspect of it. Because Major Payne says, currently I'm looking into getting my welding and HVAC certification, but I'm not too sure what HVAC could help me with in the oil field. Which certifications are they looking for? H2S, CPR, SafeLand. The other stuff that's company specific, there's no way you're gonna get that unless you go work for Occidental, and you become a company who's a contractor through them, blah 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 blah, so on and so forth. So that's not pertaining to barely any of y'all watching this. Trying to think what else. Is it possible to get around to these Halliburton company yards without a car? Are there any Uber type services in the area? There's Uber up there, but it ain't a lot. There's plenty of taxis up there in the Bakken. There's plenty of Uber taxis down here in Midland, Odessa, Texas. You'll find plenty of that stuff, so you can get around however you want. Plus, Williston itself is not that big. You can walk everywhere in Williston, and you're not really walking far. Now, Williston to Wofford City, that's a different ballgame. Let's see what else. One of my subscribers says they'll be up there in a few weeks. That's awesome, man. Hopefully, get to network with some of you guys. I see you guys up there in North Dakota. Get a chance to network, and maybe we can make some more YouTube videos, because I got an idea for Black Gold Rush Part 2, but I think I'm gonna call it something else, and then just take off from that documentary that's on my YouTube channel, and then make my Part 2 of it. Elizabeth Bednar, I took drilling leases in Ohio. I could stay home a lot, but not always. I miss those days. I went into the job with nothing and left with nothing. And I think Elizabeth, she was the one talking about being the liaison between, you know, the landowner and the drilling company, or whoever owns the rights to it, and the drilling company, you know. However that goes. Let's see. The Sandman, I'll start next week in the oil field for the first time, but I'll be doing heavy haul. So my question is, what is the average bring home for heavy haul in the oil field? I can't answer that, man. That's such a broad question. I can't answer that, man. 70 to 100 a year plus change. And there may be somebody watching this, or somebody you talk to that be like, no, you're not gonna make that much. Yeah, you're gonna make over that much. You'll find out. I made a video a while back about H2S and stuff like that. When I made the videos that I made about H2S, I'd already been to those wells more times than I could possibly count. I knew where to go, how to go, which way the wind was blowing, which way I was gonna stand before I even opened up the tanks, all that kind of stuff. From wells that I masked up on to wells that I didn't mask up on, and so on and so forth. So when it comes to H2S, it's not anything to panic over, but H2S is something to understand what it is, how it affects you, how it affects your job, and what it is in relation to the industry that you work in. But H2S is not something to panic over. You panic over, you're going to end up in a bad situation. So be smart, think, and follow your safety procedures. That's one thing I'll say about H2S. It's on you. So make sure you understand it. If your monitor goes off, do you know what's going on? Had you smell anything? Where are you located at? What piece of equipment are you operating at? Where is the wellhead at? Also, where are the flowback tanks at? Because usually it's going to come from one of the two places. If it's coming from the well site that you're on, wellhead, or however it would get released from the wellhead, and it's depending on what you're doing in the oil field. Now, if you're tripping pipe in and out, that's a different ball game, because you're right there. You're right there. If you're doing frack, most of your stuff's going to be sealed, with the exception of your blender tub where you're mixing sand, chemicals, and water, and your hydration, which most of it's going to be fresh water. That's a different conversation. And your flowback tanks. Usually your flowback tanks is kind of where it's going to be coming from, if not the wellhead. And the occasional, you're in a valley and some is coming from another well, and it's rolling into the valley where you're at. Understand how your monitor works. Understand when it'll go off. So you need to have an understanding of a 4-gas H2S monitor. For H2S, carbon dioxide, H2S, carbon dioxide, and I know those two because those are like the biggest two. Don't remember what the other two are. Maybe oxygen, or the amount of oxygen in your immediate area. But anyway, H2S is nothing to panic over. Just make sure you follow, because every company has a basic function when it comes to H2S. What to do, where to go, when, what your role is in it. Just make sure you follow it. don't get too caught up in clickbait or something. Just make sure you follow what you've been trained to do. And once you've worked around H2S, especially if you've hauled frack water, you've hauled water in the oil field, you're going to be experienced with H2S. If you've hauled water for 6 months to a year, you're going to be experienced with H2S to some degree. What else? Cause some people were asking me some questions, man. I'm trying to make sure I'm answering everything. Another company is Fort Berthold Rig Services. Any of the workover rig companies, any of the companies that are on the reservation that are reservation companies, that'll be a good place to get started at, because most of them are going to be working year-round non-stop because they get priority over. Popcorn Charlie, man, you give some good content. I got my CDL 6 months ago, and it's been hard getting a driving job in South Florida, and I'm thinking about moving to Houston, Texas with my sister. I need a company that takes new drivers. What's your advice? Yeah, to Popcorn Charlie space BLL. Depending on how old you are and how physically in shape you are. I'm gonna stop this video here, make a third video, because this is gonna take some time to explain.